Hello everyone and welcome back to my Let's Play of Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. And today we're going to find out who killed Mr. Montague Dunn. So last time we tried to arrest Mr. Hamish, but he committed suicide, but he did help with killing Mr. Dunn. So now we need to figure out if it was Albert or Miss White, who is his accomplice. I'm going to bet it's Miss White. She had a lot of time. And she had a good motive. Because Albert, he doesn't seem to be he didn't really like his father, but, he seems to have accepted it. And because he was, crying, he actually seemed to be sad about losing his father. But, that might be something that Plants actually did, so who knows. Miss White had 20 minutes. It would have been enough to trap Montague Dunn. She could have locked the door and alerted Martin Hamish to activate the ventilation system. Martin Hamish and Miss White are not accomplices. It is unlikely that White would have had the opportunity, and 20 minutes would have not been enough to lock the door in the Colonial Collection Room. I'm going to say she has time. Then we have this. Albert is not involved, or Albert had time. Martin Hamish and Albert are not accomplices. It is unlikely that Albert would have had the opportunity, and 10 minutes would have not been enough to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. Or Albert was Martin Hamish's accomplice. 10 minutes would have been enough for him to follow Montague Dunn and lock the door in order that Martin might activate the ventilation system. I'm going to say that he is not involved. So Miss White is an accomplice. Her professional ambition and personal situation had been damaged by the breakup with Dunn. Let's see, we can condemn Miss White. Miss White is a dangerous woman, very capable of carrying out an elaborate murder for monetary gain. She flirted with Dunn's son, Albert, and later pushed Martin Hamish to his suicide. She deserved the rope. Or Miss White is a desperate woman in debt, resigned to consorting with wealthy gentlemen. When Dunn cast her aside, she killed him in desperation. Hamish tried to save her. She deserves a second chance. Nope. I don't like her. Couldn't get a read on her. She's not the... I know. She wasn't really a likable person.
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After
the lab.
suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining. The deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good.
Oh.
Shall we go?
I guess the
Just one
plans.
moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
All right.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over,
Good
Miss
point.
White. The police will be here any minute.
Over, perhaps. One moment you were here, and the next, you were on the other side.
The other side? No! Stop!
What?
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Come on, Watson.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Watson, go.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
Yay! Hero
Well
Watson.
done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
That's up to the state.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
Okay, let's see. Yep, we were right. Miss White is a dangerous woman. When she realized that she was unable to make any further monetary gain from Montague Dunn, she advanced her affections to Albert, his son. She was the one who locked the door at the Colonial Collection Room directly after Hamish released the caterpillars, and then pushed Martin Hamish to a suicide only to cover herself. She got what she deserved. Okay. 90% of the people solved the case the same way and 76% made the same moral choice. I'm a justice seeker.
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson,
Ah,
We have. Where to?
to the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet. They...
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
sounds like shit.
Right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way.
Oh,
Ah, sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
Ah, I can hear them on the stairs now.
Oh, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
since when does he care about that?
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes is my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, because I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've
In
heard,
prison?
they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
And forget about the dinner?
Yes.
Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon
Sure.
Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
Yeah, we don't really have any deductions or anything. Oh, we did get the deadly plant as a souvenir, which is nice. And we solved that. And now we have to solve the crime at Half Moon Street, investigate the crime scene, and talk to witnesses, and interrogate Leighton. So yeah, I assume this is the last case. We have only 3 persons left. I guess one of them is going to be Leighton. Well, this is something different. You would almost expect this... Wait, wasn't the... I don't know. What do we have here?
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes, is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving.
Okay, well... Who are the victims?
Who were the victims?
The 2 men here, both shot. The stout fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were 2 other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
Okay, and what is your testimony?
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the 2 victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the 2 dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by 2 police constables.
Wait, so he... Or were there actual fireworks?
What were the fireworks in honor of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Ah, yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course.
Of course, Sherlock has no idea what time of the year it is.
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon?
I saw
All right,
nothing but
sorry about
rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Mr. Turner shot the guys.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me.
Is this Mr. Turner? Oh, here's
Mr.
Wiggins.
Holmes, did you see my brother at Scotland Yard? Is he all right?
Oh, let's investigate these guys.
A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look.
What the hell is this?
This shard of wood is quite new.
I have no fucking clue what that is. Okay, so
The bullet
head
struck
wound.
his head. This man didn't stand a chance.
I kind of want to know how old Leighton Wiggins is. Chapman Wiggins is the name of the
This is an ordinary key.
kid.
I wonder what kind of door it opens.
Because, you know, if he is about as big as Wiggins, or maybe a little bit taller, probably wouldn't have been able to shoot him in the head.
He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant.
Yeah, that's what you get with a gut wound.
The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound.
It will definitely kill you, but it kills you slowly.
Brian Vercotti suffered greatly. What a terrible way to die.
Is there something else? This hand? Oh, hey,
A
there's a
tattoo
tattoo on it.
from Westgate Prison. Vercotti must have done some time there.
Well, to be fair, he looks like a criminal. Okay, so Ryan Turner. Let's hear his story.
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Marrow reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story?
Apparently we might. Okay, let's check him out first. Most of the time there's something on the face. But not this time. So he was part of the Crimean War. It's a weak leg. He probably got shot. Okay, so I am missing something, probably. Oh. Missing button. Wait, what? Okay, never mind. I thought maybe the piece of wood was like a broken button. But these
Could you
buttons
tell
don't
us
look like
everything that you may
what
have
was
seen
found there.
or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw 2 bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
Were the two shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment.
So that means two different weapons or fired at another distance.
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with a gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
You have helped us a great
Okay,
deal,
thanks.
Mr. Turner.
So, what is this place? Whitechapel.
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
I'm not part of the police. So please
Could
tell
you
me.
tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
Oh, I can't look at her apparently.
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
You would think a gunshot sounds, different, but I've never actually really heard one like live, so
Did you see anyone else leaving
I don't
Half
know.
Moon Street prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My thanks to you, Mrs. Powell.
Okay, so I guess we're done with the crime scene. Different shots. 2 victims. No? Okay. So there was a dark window. Constable Marrow paid attention to Mr. Turner's window while he was running past the dead bodies. He did not observe anyone next to the window, it was dark there. Mr. Turner stated that he remained near his window until late and was caught by the police. Conflicting statements. Mr. Turner stated that he remained at the window of his flat until the police arrived. However, this is in conflict with Marrow's statement as the constable did not see anyone at the window. Interesting. Well, let's go to Scotland Yard, I guess. I also have to start thinking about a new Let's Play. Because this one is almost done.
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
There are.
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
Okay, well, let's do this. Wrong room. I'm on the wrong side of the hallway. So he has a
cheap
watch,
bought with his own money, no doubt.
an
These
apple,
cigarettes
some
are filled
cigarettes.
with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting. So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon.
Okay, how
It
many?
seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
So, yeah, it looks like 2 shots were fired. Yeah.
2 out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots.
Okay. So let's see. Different shots, but there was a revolver with 2 shots. Turner could hear the contrast between 2 fired shots, as in fact 3 shots were made. First a single shot was fired and then 2 guns fired simultaneously directly afterwards. For now, I think I'll go for the firing position. But I think it's very likely it's the other one. Kenneth Butler and Brian Vercotty were the victims of a double murder carried out by one person. Yeah, we'll have to see about that.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Okay, yeah, he's tall enough.
Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you
He looks
everything.
like Albert. Well, let's see, he has his car. What's this, a recent beating? So he's an office clerk apparently. Oh, he also was in the Westgate prison, just like the Vercotty guy.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw two men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Yeah, please continue.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man.
Yeah, and who was this third man?
Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps it's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Yeah, why did you follow him?
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
Really?
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have the same
You have a
tattoo?
typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
He is so smart. Okay, tell me about him.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young
Interesting.
man.
But, well, let's do some deducing. Leighton Chapman stated that he saw a person leaning over a dead body just as he entered the scene. Leighton took a gun from the body and set off in pursuit of the man. He was blinded by a flash of bright light. Lootless? Leighton Chapman had nothing of any value in his possession when he was caught by the police directly after the crime. I don't know. So let's see. What do we have here? Leighton Chapman. Leighton Chapman is in his 20s and is Wiggins' older brother. Growing up on the streets and being a hot-headed lad, he committed a crime for which he served time in Westgate Prison. He's currently detached from his past street life and is probably working somewhere as an office clerk. Here we have Ryan Turner, around 60 years of age, veteran of the Crimean War, a fact of which he's very proud. His leg was most likely injured during this war. He has been limping since then. Mr. Turner lives a poor life. I still feel like I should be able to do something. Like this. Person whom Leighton Chapman described in his statement is a figment of his own imagination. Yeah. I don't believe that. Anyway, let's what's this? I have to talk to Mr. Turner. But maybe it's the police guy. Maybe he is involved. I guess that's always possible. Personal motive. The violent crime committed in Half Moon Street by Leighton Chapman could have had a personal motive. I guess. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. Although I feel like I should be able to make a big deduction because that thing keeps appearing in the corner. But for now, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll speak to you guys next time.